We're back in the game room, and today I want to talk a little bit about my lighting situation. Ooh, Hue. Alright, first I gotta talk a little bit about the lighting setup that was initially in here when moving in. It's all that recessed lighting, and the bulbs were sort of, they were okay. They were fluorescents, and they had this weird slow, I don't know if they're like the energy-saving ones, but I've not used these particular fluorescents. The BR30 flood lights, I guess, is the more technical description code of those lights, but regardless, the specific ones that were in the ceiling here, they were slow to warm up. Now, I've had fluorescents before where, they have to be on a little bit to reach their maximum brightness, but these were abnormally slow. I actually still have one in the sort of guest room area down here. You can see, you flip the switch, and you're still gonna stub your toe because things haven't fully brightened up. So I knew eventually I was going to want to replace the ceiling lights with something that, just turned on. And I also wanted to get some accent lighting and replace some of the ceiling dome flourish lights, whatever you call those. And I was really pushing towards LED for that energy conservation. Now, lo and behold, Philips Hue, which you've probably heard of, reached out via email and asked if I wanted to take a look at some of their products in my new game room, and I said, sure. Hello? Just kidding, there's no one there. I said, sure, send some products over. They just sent sort of a random mess of them. They helped me replace these ceiling lights, and they sent over some accent lights, the TV lights you can see there, and some other ones to sort of fiddle with and take a look at. Now, I had already looked at some other products and picked up some other products. I purchased these, which just say Smart Wi-Fi bulb. 4 of these. I tried these out. They were okay. They were labeled as Magic Light, though it doesn't actually say that on here, but the app itself is Magic Home Pro or something like that. Now, the Philips Hue brand also uses Wi-Fi, and it has its own little hub. I know a lot of people don't want to mess with having a hub, but I wanted everything to be the same system so I can control everything down here at once, ideally with some sort of app or voice control. So Philips Hue seemed like the way to go. Disclaimer, obviously these LED bulbs are much cheaper than the Philips Hue system, but again, there's a lot of product offerings from Philips Hue. It's a trusted brand. You got the name recognition out there. Now, if you only want to take a couple of your lighting areas from dumb to smart, these might be the way to go. These little magic lights or one of the plethora of other items that are out there in the LED smart bulb category. There are strip lights, there's bulb lights, but they're all from different companies. They may all use similar apps. Again, the branding on here isn't very specific. That's why I bought them all at once, so that I knew at least they would kind of work together with the same app. The apps aren't as high-end as what I've seen with the Philips Hue system that I've been using actually for several months now. I really wanted to see how these things worked out long term. Does the app stay consistent? Is it updated regularly? Do the bulbs last? Do they burn out? Do we have connection issues with the Wi-Fi bridge and all that other stuff? So let's talk about that. And sorry, what's happening? And I can tell you, I didn't have any of those problems. Now, a lot of that probably comes down to the Hue bridge, which is sort of the brains of the operation, and that sort of runs everything in your room. Now, Philips Hue does offer Bluetooth bulbs that can just connect directly to the Philips Hue app, and it's a separate app, actually. There's a Bluetooth app for Hue. But when you use the bridge, everything sort of hooks up to that unit, which then connects to your home network, and that's what I preferred because I didn't want to be limited by how many bulbs you can connect. But there is a limit, and I wanted to be limitless, like Bradley Cooper. Is he the one in that movie? I never saw that movie, but I think that's him. So already, if you don't want to deal with a bridge or hub for your smart lighting system, then Philips Hue is probably not for you unless you're going strictly Bluetooth. If you have a lot of lights, it's probably the way to go. Now, the ceiling lights obviously solve my issue of the slow warm up. They just turn right on, whether it's with a switch or with the app or with my voice. Now, I have mine hooked up to Siri, so I can just tell, hey,
silly pants,
dim lights.
Wow. Silly pants.
Bright lights. Now we're back on. Obviously, this is just a general setting, and the big thing about these smart light bulbs is the color options. There are bulbs that only do spectrums of white, okay, cool, and warm, but you can also get multicolored bulbs, and that's the ones that I have here. But you can go into the app, and you can just go to your room, and then you can select what color system you want. I do have a couple. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Blue. Now, after I got the initial lights from Philips, I went ahead and set those up. No issue. Hooked the Hue bridge up to my network, and it just saw the bulbs, connected into the system, and then what you have to do is take those bulbs and kind of tell the bridge or hub where they are. You can create rooms, and within those rooms, you can create specific lighting zones, so it can get really specific, which I was a big fan of when it came to the app. Overall, I called this just basement, so everything down here is under basement. All the lights, every single light, basement. And then inside that room is where I created different zones. So, I have my office, that's a zone where I have two just standard lamp bulbs set up in there. I have a game room zone set up, which includes the TV lights and any of the ceiling lights that fall within the sort of gaming area of the basement. On the other side of the basement, I have an entertainment room area where there's an air hockey table and my movies and action figures and toys and things. That's the entertainment zone. Then I have two very small zones, the game shelves, which just controls those light strips on the game shelves. And then I have a TV zone in case I ever want to turn off the TV lighting. Now, it may be difficult to show the lighting right now in this particular shot because I'm using my studio lights, but I can easily turn off just the TV lights. As you can see, I still have some of the other accent lights on, but if I turn everything off, I can do that as well. The entire basement room can be turned off, or I can just specify specific areas like the office. I can also dim those lights up and down as needed. A lot of control, and you can voice activate all these different functions, but it works pretty seamlessly. Now, one caveat with color. Color can be awesome for accent lighting, but keep in mind, when you're using just color, it's not going to be quite as bright as the spectrum of white colors in the bulbs. Now, the colors, of course, adding pops of color to your room makes it look fancier. Okay, it makes it look fancy. You might have a cardboard box, but if you light that cardboard box with color, whoa, look at now that is a classy cardboard box. I want to get its name and number and check in with it later. Now, after I got the bulbs set up that Philips sent me, I got really excited about completely changing all of my lighting into the Philips system. So I went out and bought my own set of bulbs, one of which right here, I actually picked this up initially. This is an outdoor light. It's supposed to go on the outside of your house, but I just, I don't know, I thought it looked cool. It's like a pixel, a gigantic pixel, right? Yeah, well, I had these wall lights. I have one here, and then I also have one in the stairwell leading down to the basement. They're on the wall, not ceiling lights, on the wall, and I wanted something to mount on the wall. This seemed perfect. It was obviously mounted there. You can also use it on the ceiling, but I went ahead and picked up two of these myself and set them up, and I really like it. It's very bright. Lights up that hallway nicely. And I also picked up the ceiling lights myself, and that's what's over in that corner. You can sort of see it peeking out. I'll show you some more shots of those. I picked up two of those to fill in the overhead lights that were down here that were not the normal recessed lighting. In the back, I got some light strips, which are sort of lighting the shelves right now. You can stick those, of course, anywhere. Those are your typical light strips. You see those anywhere. I've used the off-brand light strips before on the backs of televisions, and they're okay. Sometimes the adhesive tends to fall off, and that can be frustrating when you're in the middle of watching a show. For the actual TV lighting, I am not using light strips. I'm using the Philips light bars on the left and right. You could also add another one to sort of shoot light above or below the television. And these are a little more heavy duty. They have stands that you can use if you don't want to put them behind your TV, or stick them. You can stick them. They have special mounts that you can use to attach them and then adjust them. I just sort of have them leaning back there because I didn't want to stick anything to the OLED television, at least not yet. But it's cool that you can use them behind other things, just sort of use them to aim accent lighting wherever in your room. Now, it's not like I just went out and bought all these extra lights the day after I got those Philips Hue bulbs, because elephant in the room, big green elephant in the room, the Philips Hue system is it's high-end, and it comes with a premium price. Yeah, I know. Similar to the wall control that I have in here, you get what you pay for. It is expensive, so it took me a while, which is why this video has taken a while to put together, because I didn't have the funds to finish this room the way that I wanted to. So after I saved up, I was able to purchase the ceiling lights and the exterior lights and some extra light strips and bulbs so that I could completely replace everything with the Philips Hue system, and I'm really happy with it. The biggest thing for me is how user-friendly the app is and the initial setup is. It's really cool. You sort of go through and identify your lights. You can name those lights and give them specific, like I named one of the ceiling lights the stairway ceiling light, or I sort of labeled these as the game room side ceiling lights, and then I have the ones in front of the shelves as, oh, those are the shelf ceiling lights. It's nice that you can specify what everything is, and when you are making changes to a light, that specific light will blink and flash to let you know, hey, this is the light you're messing with. Because if you have 6 ceiling lights and you're messing with ceiling light 4, you might be, oh, I don't, which one is number 4? It flashes as soon as you tap on it, so you can make adjustments. That's really cool. I mean, really, what else is there to say? The app is solid, the lights are solid, the output is as expected, everything works, I haven't had any issues. Though, one thing that I have seen from other lighting systems are the ability to do these sort of trails across the LEDs, and as far as I know, maybe there's a separate app that can make use of the Hue bulbs, and I believe there is. I've seen apps before, but they're usually for purchase. Like there's one called the Disco app, and it makes your lights like flash in very specific ways, but I don't believe you can do sort of that trail lighting. If you know, I'm trying to explain it, but you know, where the lights sort of go through different colors. Mostly you'd see that with the light strips, and as far as I know, the light strips do not do that, where the light sort of goes across the LEDs and like Snake, like you're playing Snake on a LED strip. You get me. Yeah, it's just they are whatever color or they aren't. They do have slow dimming features that are available. Like you can set a sunset and sunrise, where you know, as the morning begins, the lights can slowly increase in brightness over time or decrease in brightness over time and eventually shut off. All those settings are in there, which is nice. All right. One more thing I want to talk about that Philips sent over. It's not something that I was necessarily interested in, but it's the Philips Play Sync box. Now, the whole purpose of this thing is to allow your lighting in your room to react to whatever is being displayed on the screen. Seems like a cool idea. It also reacts to music. Now, what you have to do is use the Play Sync box as sort of a switcher through this play box and then out to your television. So it passes through, it gets the information from the HDMI, whatever device is being sent through it, and then continues the output to your TV for the display, and your lights can react to the information that it's getting from the HDMI device. Awesome, that's really cool. So if you're running your PlayStation 4 into your play box, then you can, you know, see the reactions of the lights to the gameplay, which works really well. It does that. It's also really great for music. If you're playing music and you're running it through the system, it can react to your music. that's a way that I would actually use it more than just gaming, because I don't want to get too distracted, but it works. So if you are into that, that is something you can do. However, keep in mind, the devices have to be HDMI compatible. So like me, if you watch Netflix through your smart TV's hub, it's not going to work, which kind of sucks. That's a big negative for me. I really wish there was a way. I get it. It's got to have some information to pull before it gets to the television so it can know what colors to sync with the content. Maybe that's changed. Maybe there's an update or a different version, but the version I have, it works as sort of a switcher, a really nice high-end powered HDMI switcher in a way. I'm actually going to keep it in my system hooked up as an HDMI switcher, but it's got to pull that HDMI information. So it runs through the box, gets the information, displays the colors in reaction to whatever is being output on the screen, whether it's games, movies, but also music. But yes, buyer beware. Does not work with smart apps that are built into the TV. Oh, also the switcher is 4K, so HDMI 4K switcher. Now, if you are just starting out and you want to try a couple of bulbs, I would suggest you try the Philips Hue Bluetooth bulbs first, just to get an idea. I wouldn't go all in on the system unless you know you're going to fully transform your house. I've only transformed the basement and game room with Philips Hue. There's nothing smart upstairs. They're just regular bulbs up there, but this is the space that gets the most time spent in it, so I wanted to fully smartify, intelligentify, much like that word, very smart, the basement, so that all the lighting would be smart lighting. So if you are looking to up your lighting game and you have the disposable income, okay, this is important, then Philips Hue might be for you. And with all this time that many of us have been spending inside, might be nice to have a good atmosphere while you're stuck inside.